Welcome to Budgeting 101, where you'll learn how to budget using the forecast budgeting method. Before we dive into what forecast budgeting is, let's do a quick overview of the three main components of a monthly budget. It consists of income, fixed expenses, and variable expenses. Most income typically comes from full-time or part-time jobs, but there may also be self-employment income and occasionally money from other sources. Since most paycheck amounts are similar from pay period to pay period and are paid on a set schedule, this makes most income very easy to plug into a budget. Fixed expenses consist of regular monthly bills like rent, mortgage payments, a cell phone bill, car insurance, car payments, credit card payments, gym memberships, streaming services, energy bills, and daycare. Fixed expenses are typically the same amount from month to month and have the same due date each month. This consistency makes fixed expenses easy to plug into your budget. Variable expenses are those day-to-day purchases you make on a regular basis and include things such as groceries, household goods, gas, eating out, clothing, kids' needs, and pet expenses. We'll also include travel spending, car and home repairs, and medical bills as variable expense items. When it comes to budgeting, the variable expenses are where people typically struggle the most. The spending done on these expenses doesn't occur on scheduled dates like fixed expenses, and the amount you spend can vary greatly from month to month. This is especially true for things like car repairs and medical bills that seem to pop up unexpectedly. These factors make variable expenses harder to budget and is why many people end up with credit cards and other forms of debt. They simply don't have a solid method to manage their spending or a plan for those unexpected expenses that come up. Now let's discuss forecast budgeting and how it will help you solve these common budgeting issues. The solution is to turn variable expenses into expenses we can budget, just like our fixed expenses. This makes them easy to budget and is exactly what the forecast budgeting method does. Here's how it works. First, you will have all of your household income going into your main checking account. I want you to think of this main checking account as the traffic cop for your money. All of your incoming money will go into it, and then it will direct that money to each of the different places it needs to go. All of your monthly fixed expenses will be paid directly out of this main account. These are those expenses that have a set monthly amount and a set due date each month. For your variable spending, we'll start by establishing 3 categorized spending accounts for all of your day-to-day variable expenses. These checking accounts will be named by category and will each have their own labeled debit card that's attached to them. They will be crucial budgeting tools that enable you to plan for and control your variable expense spending. The first account will be your grocery and household account. The money in this account is for necessities like groceries, household goods, vehicle gas, kids' clothing, pet food, etc. If something is a necessity for your household, this is the account you'll use to purchase it. The second variable spending account is your fun and entertainment account. The money in this account is for eating out at restaurants, weekend entertainment, date night, birthday presents, etc. Anytime you spend money on something that's for enjoyment purposes and is not a household need or necessity, the fun and entertainment account is what you will use to purchase it. The last variable spending account will be for your personal spending. The money in this account is specifically for you, for things like clothing, hair care, hobbies, and self-care. You'll also put a set amount of extra spending money into this account each month, which is yours to spend on whatever you want. One thing to point out is that even though you probably don't buy clothing every month or get your hair done every month, you're still going to put a set monthly amount of money into this account for those things. The money will build up each month, and then a larger sum will be sitting in the account and available to spend when you do decide to purchase those things. Please note that for couples, it is important that each of you have your own personal spending account. Next, we'll move on to the variable savings categories. You will have 3 variable savings accounts, each labeled for a specific purpose. The money in these accounts won't be needed on a daily basis, but we'll systematically put money into them every month so that a large pool of money is there and available when a need for the money arises. This is called a sinking fund approach, and it's a very effective way to plan and be ready for unexpected and irregular expenses. The first savings account category will be for the big 3: home repairs, car repairs, and medical bills. All 3 of these expenses are often overlooked and can really throw a wrench into your finances if you're not prepared. Having a pool of money specifically labeled for these expenses and available to use when they come up will prevent that from happening. Next is going to be a travel savings category. The money in this account is going to be for weekend trips, as well as larger vacations you plan to take. All of your hotel bills, plane tickets, gas purchases, and extra food purchased while traveling would be paid for using the money that's in this account. Last is the Christmas and holiday category. For some people, this account may not be necessary. But if you spend a sizable amount of money at Christmas time, or for family get-togethers during other holidays, you should consider having this account. Now that we have your variable spending and saving accounts established, you'll need to start funding them. You'll do this by scheduling automatic transfers from your main checking account to each of the variable accounts. These transfers will occur on the same date every month, in the same way your fixed expenses pull on the same date every month. We recommend the automatic transfers be scheduled to happen 2 times per month. The 1st and 15th works well for most people, but you can select 2 different dates if they work better for you. With those set transfer amounts and scheduled transfer dates, you'll now be able to budget your variable spending just as easily as you budget your cell phone bill. You'll see a fixed dollar amount transferring from your main checking account to each variable account on the same scheduled dates every month. Then, anytime you make a purchase, you'll simply use the labeled debit card that's attached to the correct variable spending account. At first glance, you may think having 3 debit cards for your daily purchases is a lot. But the truth is, the grocery and household card will be the one you use the majority of the time, as most of the daily spending you do will fit into this category. The other 2 cards, for fun and entertainment and personal spending, will be used much less frequently. When you do make a purchase, like eating out at a restaurant or buying clothing for yourself, it's easy to recognize that you'll use one of these 2 cards to pay in those situations. One thing to note is that the debit card attached to your main checking account will rarely be used anymore, as all of your daily spending will now be done using your variable spending accounts. Another huge benefit of the forecast budgeting method is that you'll always know how much money you have available to spend for each variable category. Simply open your banking app and look at the available balance that's in each account. This visual cue not only helps you stick to your budget, but it also gives you mental permission to spend the money on something you want or need, without any worry that it will negatively affect your overall finances. You're free to spend the money that's available without having any kind of fear or guilt. Now that your income, fixed expenses, and variable expense transfers all have set amounts that are scheduled to happen on set monthly dates, they can all be plugged into your monthly budget. This enables you to use a key feature of the ForecastBudgeting.com application, the Budget Forecast Calendar. With just one click, you'll be able to plug all of your income and expenses into the calendar. Then, you'll have the ability to look ahead and see what's going to happen in your financial future. The Budget Forecast Calendar will be an exact mirror of the activity that happens in your main checking account, enabling you to see what's happening in the current month, as well as what's going to happen in future months. You'll see what each day has for income, fixed expenses, and variable expense transfers. Based off of the income and expense entries that are on each day, you'll see what the projected daily balance of your account will be with those entries plugged in. This foresight allows you to plan financial moves, like an extra credit card payment or student loan payment. Simply plug in the extra payment entry and look ahead at your future daily balances in the current month and the next month to see how it's going to affect the balance in your main checking account. Then, after you've visually seen that it won't cause your main checking account balance to drop too low at any point in the future, you can confidently make that extra payment in real life. Having that kind of vision, insight, and control of your finances is what eliminates financial stress and anxiety. It will enable you to confidently attack your financial goals and make continued progress towards a better financial life for you and your loved ones. Now that you understand how the forecast budgeting method works and the budgeting tools that will be available to you, it's time to dive in and take control of your finances. That starts with getting your budget set up at ForecastBudgeting.com. We will walk you through the entire process, step by step, starting with budget setup video number 1. See you there.